Right, gentlemen and ladies, a bit of order please. Allinson, will you shut up at the back please? First of all, I'll set off by apologising. I wasn't in the room when Ed made his speech, so I'm not just quite sure what he said, so I apologise if I repeat anything. But I'd like to give a little resume of how I see the season's gone. Clearly a season of two halves. Scintillating stuff before Christmas. 11 bonus points, 11 4-try bonus points out of 13 games, tremendous stuff, and clearly very, very hard work after Christmas, as we all know. But what I'd like to say is, I think I've taken a lot of pleasure out of what went on after Christmas in 2020. It hasn't all been bad news. We lost 5 points when we didn't go to Winslow, but we have since won 5 bonus points, and some of them have been pretty good. I wasn't desperately enamoured by the losing bonus point at home against Keswick, but you think about that trip to Stockport with a ragtag and bobtail outfit side. We got there minutes before kick-off. We finished the game in the gloom. We looked as if we were going to get blown away in the first quarter, but in the last quarter we blew Stockport away. I can remember Nathan Alcock scored a good try in the gloom on the far side, and in front of us, almost in the dark, young Morland went in for a 4th try, and that felt much better than a lot of wins I've ever been at. Tremendous. Then we were that bloody bonus point at Winslow. Again, we looked as if we were going to get blown away in the first quarter. Under tremendous pressure. Rossi kept us in the game when he scuttered 3/4 of the length of the field for a try. And with the game going to a close, we were 14 points down. Kyle Adams went over in the corner, screamed as his hamstring went, as he scored the try about halfway between the corner flag and the posts, and left Fraser with a really difficult kick. It was blown a hoolie, it was soft underfoot, but Fraser bisected the post perfectly for the conversion that won us a bonus point, and that felt better than win as well. And it did bisect the post as well, because I was running touch that day, I saw it. Burnage, top of the league, come to Penrith. They didn't score in the second half. They were lucky to win. That was a tremendous losing bonus point. Some really good stuff. And even when we've gone away from home and haven't got anything, we haven't disgraced ourselves. We lost by 50 points at Birkenhead Park, but never ever gave up, kept trying, and nobody came away from there feeling in the slightest bit down. Similar story in the Isle of Man. Every man standing went to the Isle of Man, and again, lost by about 30 points, but everybody tried, everybody gave their all. You can't ask for any more than that. And I think the last game of the season summed it all up. We at Northwich, centre backs full of forwards, hooker at scrum half, and again, couldn't ask any more. Everybody came off the pitch, all the lads who were down supporting, we were all absolutely delighted. Those home games after Christmas, we conceded 15 points, 12 points, 15 points and 26 points. Any normal run of the time, we'd have scored enough points to win those games with ease. But anyway, I would like to say to all the lads who played after Christmas, played in 2020, well done. We're all very proud of you. You know, you can't ask any more for anybody than the best. Right, now on to the awards. The first award is the easiest, it's top try scorer. You should have got one of these sheets on the table before the dinner. If you've examined it, you'll probably see it doesn't look quite like the stats off the club website or the league table. That's because it includes the cup game. It doesn't improve the points for and against or the wins, but it does please our illustrious captain. Ed Swale has now played 250 games. That extra appearance has got him over that line. The next target, Edward, is 300 games. So where you go. Quite simply, top of the list of the try scorers at 10 is Jay Rossi. Step forward, Jay, well done. Young Player of the Year is the next award. This season I've had to put up all the bureaucracy to get 17-year-olds to play, and we've had Nathan Alcock gone through the system along with Hugh Byrne, Aidan Cavagher, Bryn Jeremiah, Fraser Nicholson, Ed Smith and Lewis Stewart. Enough to say, all them young lads, all 7 of them, come into the side and played absolutely marvellously. Played like men, not let anybody down. Tremendous for the future to think some of them young lads are going to come through and play a lot of first team rugby. Best out of them, Well, I think it's between Lewis and Fraser. Lewis has come on. He's not much like a 17-year-old. Strong as an ox, brave as anything. But I think Fraser about nicks it. Calmness and coolness with his place kicking. Jinky runner. Played quite a few games. Tremendous prospect for next season, the season after that, and for a long time to come. Fraser Nicholson, Young Player of the Year. Most Improved Player. When this young man appeared at the beginning of the season, he shook me by the hand, and I wasn't sure I was getting my hand back. I don't think he played a lot of rugby when he landed at Penrith Rugby Club. He certainly played a good bit more now. Strong as an ox, brave as brave, willing to have a go, played anywhere, played in the second row, played in the back row, played on the wing. Last player to do that for Penrith first team was called Sanderson, James Sanderson, but that's another story. No, Lewis has done really well. It's just a pity we're not going to have him here next season, but he's certainly the most improved player in the first team this season. Step forward, Lewis. Very well done. Now we move on to Player of the Year. Not that easy for the management to put the heads together, not physically anyway, so it's due by email. Not the easiest jobs, because you all know how good Presto's phone is. But anyway, I think we all decided there were 3 contenders. The first was Tom Lindsay. Tremendous Tom. When the going gets tough, Tom Lindsay gets going. Play wherever Presto asked him to, played in the backs, played in the forwards. I think my favourite memory of Tom this season was down at Broad Park. Somebody tried to remove his head from his shoulders and there was blood everywhere. Tom was bleeding like a stuck pig. Got him off the pitch and were cleaning him up. Only one thing Tom Lindsay was interested in, that was getting back on the pitch. Tough man Tom, lad I would have liked to have played with. Second contender, Adam Howe. Nobody could argue if Adam had won it. Commitment, unquestionable. This lad's missed 1 game in 3 seasons. Best scrummager in the county? Probably. My favourite moment, Broad Park at home. Presto, for some reason best known to himself, had him on the bench. We were under severe pressure in the clubhouse corner. Looked like we could concede a pushover try when Presto decided to play his joker. How we trundled over, scrummaged down, and we never moved backwards. In fact, we only moved forwards in the scrummage from that point forward. Tremendous fella, Adam Howe. Captained the side well in Ed's absence. Nobody could argue if Adam won this trophy tonight. Third contender, Scott Lancaster. Without being cheeky to Scott, I would have called him a bits and pieces player at the beginning of the season. Played a few seasons ago, played a bit at the beginning of this season, bit last season, started playing this season, and as the season went on, and as things got tougher, Scott turned from a bits and pieces player into a senior player, a proper senior player. I think it brought it home to me all through McCurshall. I think he was under every high ball, he was everywhere in attack and defence. He had a tremendous game that day. The other thing about Scott this season, since Christmas he's been playing on 1 leg. He's been advised a time or 2 that he shouldn't be playing, and Scott just said to me, "Don't you worry, Sandy, I'll be there. I'm not letting my mates down." If you think about the difficult times we've had, it would be dead easy to hide behind an injury and just leave it to everybody else. But Scott Lancaster, that's not how that lad's put together. Well done, Scott. So 3 very good contenders. Perhaps worthy to say these 3 lads since Christmas have missed 1 game between them. So that's the calibre of the lads there. 1 game since Christmas. And the winner, well, any one of them could win it, but the winner is Scotty Lancaster. Step forward, Scott. You thoroughly deserve it. And finally, Player's Player. This is the one all the lads like to win, I guess. It's not the one voted on by the grumpy old sods and the boring old what's-its. The lads themselves decide. You might wonder how we decide who's going to do the voting when we've played 52 players in a season. Well, the answer is I'll make up the rules. and you got to see quite a few of the games to judge something like this. So the rules this year were you had to have played at least half the games and you had to be in the bloody country. There were two exceptions to that rule. One was Macca, who'd seen most of the games anyway, and the other was Chris Jackson, who was one game short, and it wasn't his fault he broke his ankle. So that's who voted. Now, the voting wasn't quite as tight as last year. It was a bit of a landslide last year when the great Michael Rain won it. The voting was a little bit more spread this year, but it was still decisive. And the players went with the grumpy old buggers and the boring old whatsits. 4 players got 1 vote. There was only 3 players got more than 1 vote, and that's 3 players I've already mentioned, which means we all think alike. And the player who has won it hasn't won by a country mile, but not so far away. So the players have decided that the player's player is Scotty Lancaster. Step forward, Scott. Well done, fella. Well, boys, this is the end of my little bit. You can have a beer or 2 now, and don't get too much. And the only advice I can give you is stay bloody home tomorrow. Thank you, boys.